What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's happening with the data coming out for today and what you should be watching for in all these different charts. But before I get into all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very, very soon. Anyways, now let's break down what's happening to the market. So looking at SPY right now, the chart is still within this range. I'm going to be watching to see which way we end up getting this break. So I'm going to talk about what you should be watching for if you're a big bull, if you're a big bear, and how things are looking so far. Now, for data, I just want to remind everyone that there's not much data coming out right now. We do have some industrial data coming out at 9:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but it's very minor. The bigger pieces of data are going to be, in my opinion, the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report at around 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be watching to see what this causes. Does the market start pushing once this data comes out? Do we get this little rug pull? So watch and see what happens once this data is released at 10 a.m. I also want to remind you all that today is quadruple witching day, so we have a ton of calls and puts expiring on SPY. So we have over 1.3 million calls expiring, and we have close to 4.1 million puts expiring for 3.1 puts to call ratio. It's absolutely insane. Now, as a market maker, if I saw this many options expiring, either I'm going to cause the market to squeeze just to hurt as many people as possible, or I'm going to try to get us as close to max pain as possible. So anything is still possible because these market makers play dirty games all the time. So expect a lot of trickery, especially as we close today. Get ready for a very, very interesting day. For data, as of right now, the Dow Jones has snapped its 3-day winning streak, and we did see a little bit of downside within the markets, but the question is, can we get some kind of bounce? Morgan Stanley has named the head of the firm-wide artificial intelligence. It's going to be Jeff McMillan, who basically helped on projects last year to introduce AI solutions for employees based on OpenAI's GPT-4. So that's going to be good news for them. There's also some news that SpaceX's towering Starship rocket completed several major milestones, which is good news for them during their third test flight. So awesome news for SpaceX and the entire team. So that's great for them. There's also some news coming out that retailers are losing billions to organized retail fraud. There's been a lot of talk about this, so there's actually more awareness about this, which is something that tends to go on. So we have to watch and see if this continues and what else is going to be done about this. But this is something that's very important for companies like Amazon. Besides that, I'm not really seeing anything else in the news. Kind of quiet for a Friday. For earnings, I didn't really see anything coming out for today. Everything else is just so minor. So I'm not too worried about that for now. We're just going to focus on the charts. So SPY is not looking the strongest right now. But we're still within the balance of this range. So as you guys could tell, right, SPY sold off a bit yesterday, and we just traded sideways all day. We did have this little drop here before we came back up. And now today, we're just continuing to trade sideways, not really doing a whole lot. So if you want to be bullish on SPY, you want to see this thing push towards and above 515.6. If we break this, a bigger push is going to come to 516.5 and 517.5 towards these imbalances and these higher levels. If we're bullish, you want to see a break above those areas. If you're bearish, you want to see SPY basically lose 513.5. We're currently below that, so it's looking a little bit weaker. If we do lose this, watch 512.5, 512 flats, and if we lose that, we could come all the way down. So if we lose the low from yesterday, we could come all the way down to 510. Right now, the chart is looking a little bit weaker to me, but we have to wait for confirmation. Let's wait for the Michigan Consumer Sentiment data to come out before we see the real move. But otherwise, SPY is still stuck in this range, so we'll have to see which way we break. It's looking a little weaker in the pre-market, so we'll wait and see. For the QQQ, it's the same thing. We have a range. We have resistance at 440.5. We have support at 438. It's been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all day yesterday and also for today. If we're bearish on the QQQ, you want to see it lose 438. If we lose this, a much bigger drop is coming to 436. Now, one could also interpret a possible head and shoulders on the QQQ like this, arguing that we have to come all the way down towards like 434. So that's a real possibility. But in order for that to happen, we have to not only lose 438, but come down to this wick down here, lose this wick come below where this wick was right here, then we're going to start sinking. But if we're bullish, if you want to turn bullish thanks to all the option expirations on SPY and the QQQ, we have to see this thing try to hold above 441. If we manage to hold above this, I could see 442.5 coming. And if that breaks, our next high will come to 444. So in my opinion, I think that the QQQ is going to remain range bound for the time being. We're going to be looking for a big reaction once we get the Michigan consumer sentiment numbers, Michigan consumer sentiment, 5-year inflationary expectations and such, and we'll see if we get a bounce or not. We're barely holding 438 right now, so there's a little bit of weakness on the QQQ, but I'm not really siding with anyone just yet. I have to see what happens after the data comes out, and we'll watch which way this breaks. It's very simple, so just watch which way it breaks, look at the range, and that's going to give us the answer we need. It's very, very simple. It just requires patience, which is something you have to have in trading sometimes, at least a lot of the time. For Tesla, we have this falling wedge. Tesla's attempting to break out, but it's not that strong of a breakout. We're still at 163. If we're bullish on Tesla, you want to see it break 165. If that breaks, we could be making our way all the way up to 167.5. This is the previous support right here becoming resistance. If we're bearish on Tesla, you want to see it lose 162. If it loses 162, watch 160 flat as our support. And we have to hold that critical support. If we lose 162, a bigger drop is coming to 157.5. So can Tesla get the break? Well, one thing worth noting is that we pushed up to 165 in the pre-market. We came down to 162, and now we're trying to hold. So this could be a trend change. Tesla could be trying to uptrend if we can try to break 165. I'm seeing some potential in this, but we need to see a follow-through move. We have to try to get back above 165. We'll see how Tesla's impacted by the markets and all this data at 10 a.m. So I'll be making another video after the data comes out just to see how it goes. So we'll see what happens for Nvidia. Nvidia is trying to break. So I called out yesterday that Nvidia had a falling wedge right here, right? And now we got a little push all the way up to about 892. Haven't been able to hold above 885. So we're going to be watching to see, does Nvidia establish a higher low right here? If this is our low, do we push up, establish a higher low, and then start pushing up higher? Can we try to get back above 885 and start breaking out? If we do break that and hold above that, we could be pushing closer to 900 again. Or do we fail? Do we retest 885 and then reject? If we lose 872, we turn more bearish, and this could continue to downtrend. This could be a failed breakout. So we just have to wait and see. Once we get our data at 10 o'clock a.m., we'll see what happens with quadruple witching. Can Nvidia try to hold above 885? So far, it's showing life of a potential uptrend, so this could help the QQQ bounce. But nothing is guaranteed yet. We need to see a follow-through move, so we're still waiting for that to pan out. And last but not least, we have Aapl stock. Aapl, in my opinion, is, we had this potential attempts to push in the pre-market to 174. We rejected again. That's like the 8th time we rejected off 174, excuse me. So in my opinion, we have a cup and handle like structure. Yes, we do. We're still holding support, but we have to see this thing break 174 to turn bullish. If we're bearish, we want to watch 172.5 and lower levels like 171.8. We haven't been able to get that break. Unfortunately, I tried to get the break. It failed so far. So we'll see if Aapl could attempt again. It's looking a little bit lackluster this morning. Barely holding 173. Could come down to 172.5 and then rebound. But I have to see later on, can we break 174? We got to break that to turn bullish. We're failing so far. We're still range bound. So we'll see what Aapl does. As of right now, it's range bound. Hasn't really done much. So we'll see how things go. For the morning, Rivian still showing some life. I was talking about a bounce yesterday. We're approaching 11.3, hopefully 11.6 if we keep pushing. So it's actually showing some life. But unlike Rivian, we actually have some stocks like AMD looking weaker this morning. AMD has a lot of bearish momentum. Could continue sinking all the way down towards 180. So be careful with that. That's pretty much it I'm going to talk about for now. Amazon's kind of flat this pre-market, not really doing much. It's still showing some bullish momentum, so it could push a little higher, but still kind of flat. And Meta, it's trying to retest 494, so look for that retest, see if we reject or not. If we break past this, we could push higher. So the market's just waiting for some data, so be patient for now. We'll see how it goes. Tesla showing some strength this morning. That's what I was talking about yesterday, so we'll see how Tesla holds up. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day, guys. I'll catch you guys in just a couple of hours. And then take care, watch your levels, watch for volatility at 10 a.m. after the Michigan consumer sentiment data comes out, and we'll see what happens from there. Anyways, that's it for this one. Have a great day, and peace out.